Hello everyone, welcome to yet another video on our series on strategic management. In this video, till this video, we have been talking about the importance of strategic management, what is strategy, and the various external factors that affect our strategy formulation, not just the pestle factors which surround our organization, but also our competitors as well. In this video, we will be looking inside and seeing how internal analysis is also an essential part of formulating our strategies. So, after this video or at the end of this video, I hope to help you in understanding the concept of internal analysis and its contribution to strategy formulation, make you understand the concept of core competence and guidelines to assess what resources and abilities constitute the core competency of our organizations, examine the type of resources which organizations possess and their strategic importance, understand the concept of the value chain framework, and assess the SWOT factors, that is, strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats surrounding an organization. So, let's get started. So first and foremost, as we are trying to do our internal analysis, we should learn about resource-based view. So the resource-based theory, it says that the possession of strategic resources is what provides an organization with a golden opportunity to develop competitive advantage over its rivals. And these competitive advantages are what in turn can help the organization enjoy strong profits. So, this RBV or resource based view is actually an approach to achieving sustained competitive advantage. And definitely, these kind of approach also has its own supporters and opposers. The supporters of this view argue that organizations should actually be looking inside the company to find the sources of competitive advantage instead of looking at the external competitive environment. So, according to this RBV proponents, it is easier and more feasible to exploit external opportunities by deploying existing resources in a new way. And this approach is in contrast to acquiring new skills or developing new capabilities for each different opportunity. So, it is the simple thing that actually we should it just means that the resource based view, it just means that we have to actually look within ourselves or within our organizations in this context to understand what we are good at and then arrive at a better version of what we are good at, and in that way overcome our competitions or overcome our external environmental obstacles and grab that maximized value potential. So if you would remember, like in the earlier classes on strategic management, we have discussed a concept of a conflicting concept that some people say that you should start from where you have to reach and backtrace to where what you will need today in order to reach where you want to be. That is one way of strategizing. And another view or another approach is you start by analyzing what you have and find a way to do it in a much better way than others, right? And in that way tap the market potential. So this RBV approach is actually the second type of approach on strategy planning. That is, you look within and find what you have and find a competitive advantage in that and make a strategy based on that so that you can use what you have to get where you want to go, rather than putting out your resources to acquiring new things in order to reach where you want to be. So according to the resource-based view model, resources can be both tangible or intangible. So our strategy, they are saying that according to this RBV model, our strategy will rely on our resources, and that resources could be either tangible or intangible or both. Okay, and the resources may be heterogeneous or it may be immobile. And with those resources that are valuable, okay, we have to find those resources within us that are valuable, which is rare, which is costly to imitate, and which can be organized. That is, these are the VIRO resources, we say, the valuable, what you can say, costly to imitate, rare, and organizable resources to create a competitive advantage. That is this diagram or this what you can say, this diagram actually summarizes the entire resource based view model. Okay, so according to this, a company can create competitive advantage by using its tangible and intangible resources that may be heterogeneous and immobile to create or to find out those resources out of the tangible and intangible resources which have the zero attribute. That is, it must be valuable, it must be rare, it must be costly to imitate, and it must be organizable to create the competitive advantage. That is the resource based view model. So, accordingly, the critical success factors which contribute to the organization's success in a competitive environment are called, those success factors which contribute to the organization's success in a competitive environment is called the critical success factors. And the organization have to improve on these critical success factors, since a poor result may, because if you are not, what you can say, improving upon these critical success factors, if you are ignoring them, then that may lead to a decline in performance. Like, for example, if you are a service based company, okay, let's say you are owning a high end barber shop, okay, a hair salon, in the modern terms, not a barber shop, sorry. A hair salon, okay, a hairdressing salon. Your critical resource is definitely the hairstylists there, right? So you have to invest in them. Their performance, their customer orientation, the way they talk to people, the way they behave with their customers, the way they deal with difficult customers, the way they are able to understand the customers requirements and give them the best possible service there is what is going to bring you success and help you open more and more hairdressing salons, right? So you have to invest in them, you have to make them happy, you have to lower their willingness to sell in order to maximize your firm's value, right? So if you do not, then what happens is that your company's performance, your organization's performance is going to, overall, it's going to go down. So that is what critical success factors are. So the few general sources of critical success factors that have been identified are mainly based on the industry characteristics and the competitive position of the organization. In case you have not yet subscribed, consider subscribing because it will help me help you better. If you like the video, don't forget to leave a thumbs up and refer us to your friends as well and help us reach more audience. In case you don't like the kind of video we are putting out, feel free to express that also, because it will help me improve again. So let us look at, moving forward, let us look at the value chain framework. Again, this was proposed by Michel Porter, and this is his value chain model. So according to this, he has divided the various activities of an organization into primary activities and support activities. So the primary activities are the inbound logistics, the operations, the outbound logistics, marketing, and sales and service. That is after sales service. Okay, those are the primary activities of an organization. And the infrastructure of the firm, the procurement team, the human resource management, the technology part, and profit, most of all, are all support activities that arise out of the primary, or are there in place to support the primary activities of the firm. This framework is most commonly used to guide the analysis of any organization's strengths and weaknesses. And in this framework, any business is seen as a number of linked activities, each producing value for the customer. And this value chain framework is, what you can say, it is, with this framework, it is possible to analyze the organization's contributions of each of these individual activities in the business and how they all add up to the overall level of customer value that the organization produces. That is, how they can overall increase the willingness to pay from the customer side and thereby increase the firm's value. So it is divided into these different parts. So the inbound logistics are those activities that are concerned with inbound logistics, that is receiving, storing and distributing the inputs to the product or service. Okay, so it could include the material handling, the raw material handling, stock control, transportation, that is into the organization. Okay, operations are the various activities which actually transform our inputs or our raw materials into the final products or services. Like, it could be manufacturing, packaging, assembling, testing, all those kind of things. Outbound is you're shipping out the finished products into your warehouses. Okay, so that is collect and store and distribute the product to customers. So it could be warehousing. Again, transportation will come here also. Okay, or if it is or maybe if you're talking about a film and all, it might be getting that box, that film reel, into the theaters which have agreed to distribute. Okay, then comes marketing and sales. So let us consider this film industry. Okay, so it is a service based, entertainment based organization. What comes out of it is a entertainment product, right? That film reel. So input will definitely be the various cameras, the art materials, the actors, the directors, the producer, the money, everything. Okay, operation will actually be the even the story will come up as you can say the inbound logistics, because without the story you cannot actually create the movie. So the operation would be the director actually directing the movie, and the cameraman actually catching it in film, then editing, sound recording, mixing, all those things will come under operation. And outbound logistics would be the final film reel being shipped to the various theaters who have agreed to like show your film in their theaters. Now you have to market your film. You have to do the promotions, you have to get your actors to do various promotions, you have to get you have to maybe first do an audio launch, the movie launch will be there, a lot of people will start dancing to the tunes. You'll see a lot of influencers doing a lot of TikToks and Insta reels and stuff coming up using that dialogues of the film from the trailer. You'll have a lot of fans associations promoting your film. So all these things come up as marketing and sales, right? And then comes the service. That is the activity which helps in improving the effectiveness or efficiency of all these primary activities, right? So you'll have reviews, right? Once the film gets shown, then there will be initial reviews that come out, and then how the reviews are handled by the people, directors and stuff like that, that will give rise to more controversies or more memes coming up. So those are all kind of the after sales effects, right? The after sales service that happens when you talk about the film industry. So I hope you are now able to understand the primary activities in the value chain model. So similarly, we have the secondary activities or the support activities, right? Which is the human resource management. So we have the production control team there, right? When you're talking about the technology, we have the production control team, we have the arts team. So they use the technology development, they use procurement team. So the production support executive is who assigns the proper budgets and all for different departments and all these things, right? And then finally, out of all these activities, we are intending to either generate, definitely we are intending to generate a profit out of it. So those are the support activities or the after effects of our primary and support activities. Is what value is, right? Or the profit, even including the profit, is what the value of that organization is actually. So that is the value chain framework in the most simplest ways I could think of. Okay, so as we said, we are doing all these things to identify. So we are talking about internal analysis, and in internal analysis we are trying to find out the strength and weakness and all the opportunities and threats, right? So in order to arrive at some form of a meaningful conclusion regarding the strength and weakness of our industry, the analysis should actually be supported by appropriate standards for comparison, right? Like for example, industry norms or historical performance and benchmarks, right? So in the case of our movie example, how do we check whether our movie was a success or failure? What are the strengths of our movie or weakness? So definitely when you are onboarding a mega star or a superstar like maybe Mohanlal or Mammootty or Rajnikant or SRK, Kamal Hassan, we are trying to bring in that strength, right? Ajit Kumar. So you think about Ajit Kumar, not many of Ajit's films have become a flop, right? So when you rope in that actor, you are trying to bring in that strength, right? His strength, his fan base power, his even when we think, okay, like okay, this is a Vijay Sethupathi film, or maybe this is a Vineet Srinivasan film, we have a certain expectation that okay, at least I'll be able to get a good story out of it, or maybe it has some element, otherwise this guy wouldn't have agreed to do this film, right? So such a thing would be definitely there, and that is what even the producers are trying to tap into. Okay, or maybe it definitely how much it grossed in the first week is a metric, right? How many days it ran in theaters, for how much money did the OTT guys buy its rights. So all these things are various metrics, and we use these metrics for comparison. So there are three commonly accepted comparison standards which are often found very useful for the internal analysis by organizations. That is the industry norms, the historical comparisons, and benchmarking. Sometimes what happens even in the case of films and all, the film may actually not be that great, but you'll find out that it has performed very well in the box office. Though you might not have liked the movie, they might have actually got whatever they put into it. So in that way it might have been successful, but how much effective that film was. Or sometimes something happens, like there's a movie called Guppy. Okay, it did not perform very well at all in the theaters, but the and I was not even aware that such a movie had come out. But when I saw that movie in my TV, I was like, wow, such a beautiful movie. Why didn't? And I was shocked to realize that this movie did not perform so well in theaters. So I think I don't know whether you guys might agree. One another such movie in Hindi is Sanam Teri Kasam, which actually had a good storyline, but I saw it through YouTube, to be honest. And I came to know that this movie did not perform at all in the box office, but it really did have a good compassionate storyline. So that is what competitive sorry, not competitive, the comparison standards are. I hope you understood it. So moving forward, the most important or the crucial part of our video today, that is the SWOT analysis. SWOT stands for strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat. So a SWOT analysis, actually what it does is it summarizes all the key issues from the external environment as well as internal capabilities of the organization. In that, strength and weakness is internal, opportunities and threats are external. Okay, so the aim of the SWOT analysis is to identify the extent to which our strengths and weaknesses may be relevant to and be capable of dealing with the relevant to the opportunities and capable of dealing with the threats in the business environment. It also reflects whether there are opportunities to exploit further in for the competencies of the organization. So some of the strengths, let's say, again, let us take the movie example. So if there is Nayanthara in the movie, if there is Ajit Kumar in the movie, if there is SRK in the movie, if there is Deepika Padukone or maybe Ranveer Singh, Mohanlal, or maybe Vineet Srinivasan or Tovino Thomas, we start thinking about them as strengths. Like, okay, they are there, so this must be good is what first we think about, right? So quality, good reputation, learning from mistakes, producing better results, highly competitive pricing, low cost production. So these are all some of the strengths. Similarly, weakness could be, you might be sometimes what happens is that the trailer comes out or the songs come out, it doesn't strike a chord. Or maybe you look at the trailer and depending upon the dialogues and all, you'll be like, I don't think this movie is going to be good. So that becomes a weakness. Okay, so sales slowing down, and then similarly, if the movie released and let's say the first show, after the first show, the initial reviews come out, and if it is a blah review, then naturally, slowly the subsequent shows, it will sales will slow down, it will not be household. Then you have to actually pay people to go and see the fans association guys and try to market it. So sales slowing down is a weakness. There is no sense of, and then you watch a movie and then the first part is good, but after interval the story goes somewhere and all, or maybe the first part is so slow that you sleep, and then by the end of the movie you don't know where it is, or after the first half you just exit the theater. Okay, so that is that there is no sense of direction in the movie is a weakness for that movie, though it might be Vineet Srinivasan or it might be SRK, but if it doesn't strike a chord, then naturally, if the storytelling is weak, or if there is no logic in the movie, then it is a weak, right? There is no sense of direction means it is a weakness for that movie. So you will say such reviews like, you did not use Vijay Sethupathi properly. Why did you even bring in SRK, or why did you even rope in Katrina Kaif if it was just for an item number? All these things, right? Those are weaknesses of the movie. So similarly for the corporations also, you start making losses, your sales start slowing down, there is no sense of direction for your company, there is a decrease in your productivity, there is no proper collaboration between or within the functional departments. Are all weaknesses. Same way opportunities and threats also, like there is threats could be losing to competition or lack of proper strategy, new entrants or new substitutes into the market, inflation could all be threats. Opportunities could be original work, trying to sell high quality products in a cheaper way, increasing the demand for products or overseas demand coming in, favorable government policies. All these things are opportunities. So I hope you understood all the different strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats. That is essential while doing SWOT analysis. So the next what we have to learn about is the internal factor evaluation metrics, or IFE, which is again a strategic tool to evaluate the internal environment of organizations. So naturally, internal factor evaluation metrics, right? So this is also another similar to what we have learned in our previous what you can say previous videos itself, like how we learned about the environmental analysis or the extra competitive factors analysis, right? Similarly, here we are doing the same steps, but the factors we are considering is the internal factors. So in the competitive analysis metrics, we listed down the factors of competitors which were what you can say, which were contributing to their success. Similarly, in the environmental factor analysis, we listed down all the external factors that could pose a opportunity or a threat or a strength or a weakness to our organization, right? Similarly, in this internal factor evaluation metrics, we will be listing down all the internal factors, and we will assign the weight to each factor. We will give a rating, we will determine the weighted score, and we will determine the total weighted score. So the process is actually the same. It's just that the factors which we are considering, the very first line, which factor to identify, that step is the only thing that changes. Okay, so over here we are identifying the internal factors. So that is the internal factor evaluation metrics. So I hope at the end of this video, whatever was our objective of this video, that is identifying the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats, that is a SWOT analysis, the internal factor evaluation, the resource-based view, and all these things, the value chain framework, such concepts have been clear to you. I hope that if you did, and if you like this video, and if you want to learn more from such videos, do give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and if you have any doubts, leave it in the comment section. I will try to do my best in resolving those questions of yours. And all the very best for your examinations, and all the best, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.